Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something I think a lot of us are looking for right now, especially with the holidays coming up, ways to boost energy levels.
Oh, definitely. Something we can all relate to.
Absolutely. And this time, our source material is an article from ZinZino, a health and wellness company, all about beating those winter slumps and, yeah, just feeling more
That's
energized.
right up our alley.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's jump right in. One of the first things they talk about is winter tiredness, which makes sense, right? Less sunlight, shorter days. It's natural to feel a bit drained.
It is. And, there's a scientific reason for that. Less sunlight means our bodies produce less vitamin D.
Ah, vitamin D. Always hear about that.
Right. And that can lead to an increase in melatonin production.
Melatonin. Isn't that the sleep hormone?
Exactly. So basically, our internal clock is getting a bit out of sync.
Like it thinks it's hibernation time?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But, vitamin D is important for so much more than just sleep. It plays a role in immunity, bone health, a whole bunch of stuff.
Right, right. And the article mentions that many of us might be deficient, especially in winter.
hmm And that's where ZinZino brings in their supplement, Zeno Shine Plus. But let's keep focusing on the bigger picture here.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is how the article goes deeper into that whole vitamin D and melatonin connection.
It's not just about the amount of sunlight you see. It's about how vitamin D interacts with specific receptors in our brains.
Oh, wow. Getting complex.
A little, but fascinating. These receptors influence melatonin production, so having enough vitamin D helps keep things balanced, even with less daylight.
Okay, that makes sense. I honestly always just thought it was about getting enough sun.
Sun is important, for sure, but there's a lot more going on behind the scenes.
Interesting. So vitamin D is like setting the foundation, but what about actually fueling our bodies for energy? The article talks about energy boosting foods, and some of the suggestions were kind of surprising.
Right. And that's where the glycemic index comes into play. It's not just about calories, it's about how those foods affect our blood sugar levels.
Ah, the glycemic index. Now remind me how that works again.
So some foods cause a rapid spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash. Those have a high glycemic index.
And that leaves you feeling drained.
Exactly. So for sustained energy, we want foods that release energy more slowly. And you know what? Bananas actually fit that bill.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Really, I wouldn't have thought of those as energy boosters.
Well, I've got a good mix of carbs, fiber, and potassium.
Yeah.
All contribute to that slow, steady energy release.
Like nature's energy bars.
Exactly.
The article also mentions other great options like berries, avocados, and leafy greens.
Yes. It's about variety, getting a range of nutrients to support energy production.
Makes sense. What are some of your favorite energy boosting foods?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I'm a big fan of.
Okay, so vitamin D in food, check and check. But what about another essential ingredient for energy? Hydration. I bet you're thinking, of course, but seriously, it's so easy to forget.
Right. We underestimate how much it impacts our energy.
Totally. And this article is like, don't forget the water. They recommend 1.5 to 2 liters a day. But why is it so important for energy?
Well, think about it. Every single cell in our body, they need water to work, right?
Makes sense.
It transports nutrients, flushes out waste, regulates temperature. All those things, they take energy.
Ah, so when you're dehydrated, those processes become less efficient and you just feel drained.
Precisely. Like a car running low on oil. You can push it, but eventually.
Speaking of things that drain us, let's talk sleep. Especially around the holidays, it's tough to get enough.
It is, but it's crucial. Not just for feeling rested, it's when our bodies repair, recharge.
The article emphasizes keeping a consistent sleep schedule even when things get hectic.
That's key. Our bodies have this natural sleep-wake cycle, you see.
I'm totally guilty of messing that up during the holidays, but why is consistency so important?
It's all about our hormones, like that melatonin we were talking about.
Right, right.
When you stick to a schedule, you reinforce that cycle. Easier to fall asleep, wake up refreshed.
So even if I have a late night, I should try to wake up around my usual time.
Ideally, yeah. Keeps your internal clock happy.
Good to know. Okay, last but not least, the article talks about exercise as an energy booster, which I gotta say sometimes sounds counterintuitive.
I hear that. When you're tired, working out is the last thing you want to do.
Right. But the article suggests that even when you're feeling low on energy, exercise can actually increase it.
That's the interesting part. It all comes down to oxygen.
Oxygen.
When you exercise, your heart rate goes up, pumping more oxygen-rich blood throughout your body, to your muscles, your brain.
Like a jump start.
Exactly. Plus, exercise releases those feel-good endorphins, giving you an extra mood boost.
Okay, starting to see the connection now. But the article also talks about different types of exercise, right? Like aerobic versus anaerobic.
Right, so aerobic is sustained activity, things like running, swimming, where you're using oxygen for energy.
Gotcha.
Anaerobic is those short bursts, like sprints or weightlifting, less reliant on oxygen.
So do they impact our energy differently?
They do. Aerobic exercise improves your cardiovascular health, making you more efficient at using oxygen.
Makes sense.
And anaerobic, while not directly dependent on oxygen, helps build muscle mass.
Which in turn helps you burn more calories even when you're at rest.
Exactly.
So a combo of both is ideal.
You got it. Find what works for you, your goals.
Now, here's what I found really intriguing. The article talks about exercise impacting not just physical energy, but mental and emotional energy too.
Oh, absolutely. There's more and more research showing how exercise benefits mental well-being.
That's
It
amazing.
reduces stress, improves mood, even helps with anxiety and depression.
Wow. So getting that physical energy going could lead to more mental and emotional energy as well.
It's all connected, and the potential benefits are huge.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Vitamin D, food, hydration, sleep, and both types of exercise. It's really a holistic approach to feeling energized.
It is, and even small changes in these areas can make a difference.
I'm already feeling inspired to tweak some things, especially with the holidays coming up.
It's the perfect time to focus on self-care and making choices that support our well-being.
So to recap, ZinZino's approach is all about nourishing your body, mind, and spirit to create sustainable energy. Energy that helps us thrive no matter what's going on.
That's a powerful message.
It's amazing, right? Like, just making small changes like getting enough sleep can make such a difference in your energy levels.
Yeah, totally. It all goes back to that whole interconnected thing we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive into ZinZino's energy insights, what are some key takeaways you think our listeners should, really remember?
Well, I'd say the biggest takeaway is that boosting your energy isn't about finding some magic solution, some quick fix.
It's about working with your body, understanding how those systems work together to produce energy.
Yeah. And making choices that support those systems. Things like eating nourishing foods, staying hydrated, getting good sleep, and of course, regular exercise.
A holistic approach for sure, especially
Yeah.
with the holiday craziness coming up.
Right. It's not just about getting through your to-do list. It's about having the energy to really enjoy life, connect with people.
Exactly. More energy for the things that matter.
Exactly.
So, for everyone listening, as you think about your own energy levels, remember that small changes can have a big impact.
Yeah. Experiment with different foods, prioritize sleep, and find ways to move your body that you actually like. That's important.
Great advice. And hey, maybe you'll find that when you boost your physical energy, your mental, emotional energy get a boost too.
It's all connected, It's fascinating. And here's a final thought to leave you with.
Okay, I'm listening.
We've talked about how things like sunlight and food affect our energy, right?
Yeah.
But what about our mindset? Could our thoughts and beliefs about energy play a role too? Something to think about as you explore all this.
Wow, that's a great point. Lots to consider. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of energy boosters, everyone. We hope you feel inspired and ready to make some positive changes. And until next time, happy energizing.